What if I told you that your weight loss is not paying off? Not because you don't have the right diet, not because you're not hitting the gym, not because you don't have enough willpower or motivation. It has nothing to do with that. In fact, your doctor's not going to tell you. No fitness influencer is ever going to tell you. They're not even going to touch on this. Well, in this video, I'm going to touch on the most important thing that you need to be focusing on if you want any chance of reaching your weight loss goal by the end of the year. We're already in mid-October. You've only got 2.5 months. Then we go into January, and this is where everybody's going to be making their New Year's resolution. All right. You've seen plenty of my videos, and if you haven't, I'll make a brief introduction. My name is Tim Ernst. I'm an intermittent keto fasting coach who has personally helped high-performing men over 40 lose 40 pounds in 16 weeks. If you want more info on that, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of this video. It'll kind of explain more in detail as to how I could potentially help you. Now, with that out aside, you've probably noticed I haven't uploaded many videos lately, and that is because I've been doing a lot of inner work on myself that I believe is going to dramatically move the needle for you as well. Now, for me, it has nothing to do with weight loss because I've already achieved my goal. If you've watched all my videos, you would have seen the transition where I've lost 50 pounds just this year. Back in 2018, I lost 70 pounds. So I've been in the fitness industry since I was 25. I'll be 50 next year. So that'll be a full 25 years that I have been doing this. So I kind of know what I'm talking about, and what I do works. All right. So let's just start off by giving you a couple examples. Have you ever noticed whenever you have this internal dialogue with yourself, which we all do it, we all talk to ourselves, you have this internal dialogue like, man, why do I keep starting and stopping? You know, I'm on a good track with my weight loss goal, but somewhere along the lines, I stop and I can't get back on. I keep making these New Year's resolutions every single year. I can just never stick to a plan. You ever notice that? Even though you have all the information, you have the proper diets, you've been watching my videos, you know what to eat, what not to eat, you know you should get in the gym, you know all those things. But you ever wonder why you just actually aren't following through? Well, I'm going to tell you why. And like I said, no doctor's going to tell you this, and certainly no fitness influencer is going to touch on this at all. Most YouTube videos you watch are going to give you some type of tactic, some type of diet hack. Don't do this, eat this, oh, eat this special food. This video has nothing to do with that, all right? So let's just start off with a couple more examples. I gave you that one example where, you know, you're trying to figure out, why am I starting and stopping? I can't seem to stick to anything. Let me give you another example, okay? This is something that's not weight loss related. You ever notice when like you buy like a new car, for instance, you start noticing more of those cars on the road? Well, here's the truth. Those other cars were always on the road, but because you have that vehicle, now your mind's more focused and has become more aware to see more cars like yours. They were always there. It wasn't like they just magically appeared one day when you bought the car. They were always there, and that's because now your mind was focused on seeing those other cars on the road. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is that your success with health and weight loss is going to start right here. Now, by the end of this video, I'm going to give you something for free. I printed this up, okay? You can download it. I want to make sure you get this, all right? So toward the end of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this, and then you can download it for yourself. And this is going to dramatically change the trajectory of your weight loss. Now, what do I mean? I'm going to give you some examples about, okay, why does it start here? Okay. You may not be aware, but anytime you're trying to succeed in life, 80% is going to come from your beliefs and mindset. The other 20% is actual tactics. It's the action you take. What you may also not be aware of is that your subconscious doesn't know the difference between truth and lie. It doesn't know the difference. It only carries out what you have programmed it to do. You may think that the decisions you're making today is your conscious mind making the decision, but it's actually your subconscious mind. It's the program that's running in the back of your mind. So if you're saying things like, man, why do I keep stopping or starting and stopping? I was off to a good start. I started losing weight, but somewhere I just self-sabotage. When you keep repeating that thought over and over and over again, you are embedding that in your subconscious mind. And what your mind's going to do is going to look for the evidence to self-sabotage. And this is really the first step for you to lose weight, is becoming aware of the self-dialogue that you are having with yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, most of us think negatively. In fact, this whole week, I've been concentrating on reprogramming my subconscious mind to take something I was thinking negative and reframing it. In fact, I just did it today after my walk. I'll give you 2 examples of something I did where I thought negatively and I reframed it. The first thought I had as I was taking my walk, I was like, man, Tim, you're doing so great with your weight. You lost another couple pounds, even though you pretty much ate what you want. Don't screw it up. You see what I did there? By saying don't screw it up, now my mind's going to be looking for the evidence to screw up. And this is why sometimes I'll eat things that are not good for me. It's because I'm telling myself, I'm having this internal dialogue to look for evidence to self-sabotage and screw up. Okay? So here's how to reframe that. Today, I'm going to choose healthier foods, and I know exactly what I'm going to eat. So I have all the food in my house. I know exactly what I'm going to eat. You see the difference there? You're taking something that you said where you're going to screw up or self-sabotage, and you're reframing it. Now, just after I said that, I had another negative thought come into my... Now, this is going to take a lot of work, okay? I reframed it, but then as I'm taking my walk, another thought hits me. It says, man, I got all these great ideas to talk about in my video. Why can I not remember those important things I remembered on my walk when I speak to you in these videos? See what I did there? Now my mind is going to find a reason to not remember those important details as I was taking my walk so I could describe them to you in this video. So I had to reframe that and say, I always remember the great ideas that I have so I can present them on video on YouTube to talk to you about. All right, see how I reframed it? The same thing goes with weight loss. You have to start right here. And it's not going to be about willpower or discipline. If you're trying to muster up willpower like, ugh, I got to try to resist this bad food, I can't eat it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to give in and you're going to eat that food because now your mind is finding a reason to eat that bad food. It's looking for the evidence to eat that. Now you can apply this to all areas of life. You don't have to just do this with weight loss. In fact, what I did for myself is I created what's called the Tim's Winning Mindset Code. This one's for me, and then I'm going to give this one to you that's related to weight loss. Now you can make this about anything. You can make this about, making more money or being a better husband, a better father, a better wife, whatever it is. You could use the same principle. So what I want to do is I want to read the one that I'm going to be giving you and how this is going to be the deciding factor whether you lose weight this year or you don't lose weight this year. So let me get my glasses here. I'm going to read this to you because this is going to be important. Because look, I could give you tactics, I could give you diets, but you have that already. Go watch a lot of my videos. You'll see I do a lot of fasting. I do the keto diet. I do, what else? I've done alternate day fast. I even did the sugar diet. I've done all these different tactics. They all work, but if you don't change what's going on up here, you're going to default to your bad habits because 9 times out of 10, your mind's going to start looking for the negative. And your mind has no choice but to carry that out. It doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real. It's only going to carry out what you are programming it. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is called the Weight Loss Mindset Code. So like I said, I'm going to give you this toward the end of the video so you can keep it, maybe keep it next to your desk, and I really believe this is going to change for you. I really do think that this is going to be the thing that really moves the needle other than all the other things you could ever try. All right. So here's the first one. Now just pay attention. Again, you don't have to write this down. I'll send it to you for free. All you have to do is comment below in the comments, send it, and I will send this to you for free. All right. Number 1, I don't wait for motivation. Now this is very important. Okay, here we are. It's Monday. What do most influencers say? Motivation Monday. Get in the gym, eat right, all this stuff. Well, guess what? Motivation is short-lived. You know it and I know it. Everyone's motivated January 1st on their weight loss journey. So why is it do they quit in March? Motivation doesn't last, but developing good habits Now that's the thing that's going to change. So I don't wait for motivation. I move because I'm committed. Motivation is a mood, okay? It's a feeling. Commitment is a decision. You don't need to feel ready to start. You just need to move anyway, or move anyway, basically exercise. You need to eat properly. You just need to do it anyway. Every time you act without motivation, you train your brain to trust you again. And I'm going to give you some biblical verses that kind of go along with this as well. Now, when I give you these biblical verses, some of these may sound like I'm taking them out of context, but these are principles that you can apply. All right. So the first one is, whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men. Okay. Do this for yourself. Don't do this to try to prove it to somebody else. You are running your own race. This is not about impressing other people. This is about you becoming a better version of yourself. Okay, only you can become a better version of you. You can't be like whatever anyone else is trying to do. Focus and stay in your lane, all right? This one's a good one. Number 2, I don't chase perfection. I chase consistency. That's the name of the game, my friend. Staying consistent, all right? The people who win aren't perfect. They're persistent. You can't lose 40 pounds overnight, but you can win the day that you're in right now. All right? Missed a meal, missed a workout, don't quit. Reset, refocus, and keep going. Another verse for you. Let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not give up. That's Galatians 6:9. All right? Number 3, I don't run from pain. Now this one really stuck out to me. I thought about doing like a brief post about this. I don't run from pain. I respect it. I want you to write this one down. Pain isn't punishment. It's the price of progress. You've heard the whole saying, no pain, no gain. If you think you're not going to have resistance, some type of pain, some type of sacrifice you're going to have to make to get what you want, whatever it is in life, right now we're talking about weight loss, you're only fooling yourself. There's going to be sacrifices you're going to have to make, all right? When you feel discomfort, now I want you to get this, when you feel discomfort, that's your body and mind breaking the old pattern. So just remember, when you're feeling uncomfortable and you're feeling a little bit of discomfort, that's your mind breaking old habits. That's a good thing. All right? The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts a lifetime. How many times, as you've gotten older, you'll look back on your life and you had some regrets? I would rather feel the pain now rather than regret something later. Because there's one thing you can't get back, my friend, and that's time. All right? Another verse to go along with this. This one's a good one. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness. All right, that's Hebrews 12:11. Here's the next one, number 4. And I really want you to get this one. I don't see food as comfort. I see it as fuel. Now think about it. The reason why a lot of times people eat bad foods, they're either eating out of boredom or comfort. It's one of those two things. You're either bored, you don't have nothing to do, or you're eating out of comfort and because you're trying to fill some void, all right? So check this out. Food is either pushing you toward freedom or pulling you back into bondage. Do you really want to be in bondage by eating bad food? You are in bondage if you're doing that. Eating clean isn't a punishment. It's permission to feel better, think clearer, and live stronger, or I say live longer as well, all right? Number 5, I don't identify as trying to lose weight. I want you to think about that word try. Try is a word that should not even exist. You're either doing something or you're not doing something. There is no try, all right? I identify as the person who already lives that way. I want you to get to a point where you are embodying that this is the person you are rather than trying to be the person that you're trying to be. Does that make sense? All right. You act according to who you believe you are. I think this is why a lot of people struggle with their weight, because they believe they don't deserve it. They believe they'll always be the fat kid or the fat person their whole life. All right. If you see yourself as someone trying, you'll always, guess what? Be trying. When you decide you are a person who eats clean, trains daily, and keeps promises, the habits will follow naturally. So if you see yourself as this person, guess what I just said? Remember what I said at the beginning of this video? Your body is, or your mind is going to find evidence to support that idea. So if you're seeing yourself as someone who eats clean, trains daily, and keeps the promises or the commitments that you're made to yourself, your mind is going to find evidence to make sure you do that. And guess what? It happens automatically. That's the good news. You won't even have to so-called try. All right? Let's go to the next one. We're almost done. I don't quit when it's hard. I grow when it's hard. Look, none of us grow in comfort. Comfort is from the devil, keeping you comfortable, not having to, do anything hard. The minute we feel a little bit of resistance, we kind of retract and we pull back rather than pushing forward. All right? Think about it. Resistance builds muscle. When you're in the gym, that's what happens. You're tearing down the muscle, you go home, you regrow it. Resistance builds muscle. In the gym and in life, every hard day is a chance to prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. You ever thought about that? When you've tried something really hard, you're like, you know what? That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. When I tell people to do like the keto diet, they're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to give up carbs and sugars? And when they start doing it, they're like, you know what, Tim? And I've had this happen more than I can count. I've had people tell me, Tim, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I've heard this many, many times, all right? So let me get back to that. So let me just start over. So in the gym in life, every day is a chance to prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. That's how transformation really happens. Not in the comfort zone, but in the pressure zone. You are not going to grow in comfort, but you will grow in pressure. You've heard the whole story. You take a coal, you add pressure to it. What does it become? It becomes a diamond. All right. Last one. All right. Okay, I don't work for a number on the scale. Now, this is a real important one. I don't work for a number on the scale. I work for freedom. Freedom from food controlling you. Freedom from excuses. Freedom from the version of you that settles. Weight loss isn't just about the body. It's about reclaiming your self-respect and strength. Do you realize every time you break the commitments that you made to yourself, you are disrespecting yourself? Every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you know what that does? How can anyone trust you? How can you trust yourself? All right. So again, I want to give you this. I want you to download. Now I have my own that I'm working on with myself. In fact, if you want to give this a try, I've been really exploring this, and I really believe it's going to be the thing that's going to change the trajectory of your weight loss, your health, your relationships. Maybe you're stuck financially. If you use these principles, I guarantee you the needle will move. Now, it's going to take a lot of work, because our mind is conditioned to always think of lack, to think of why you can't do something. It's programmed to think negatively. In fact, another scripture that's very powerful in the Bible, it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is a daily thing you are going to have to do. You're going to have to wake up early in the morning, sit in silence, and just imagine that you are becoming the person that you want to be. Actually, just be the person that you want to be. But again, this is going to take work. You're going to have to do this every day. It's not something where you just set it and forget it, because those old habits are going to creep right back in. Those negative thoughts are going to creep right back in. The two examples that I just gave you on my walk. Here I am spending a whole week trying to reprogram my mind, and guess what? My mind went right to the negative, and I had to say, whoa, wait a minute, Tim. I need to reframe that thought. Take that what's negative and turn it into something that is going to benefit you. There's nothing. When you tell yourself and have this self-talk of all these negative thoughts, how is that helping you? How is that helping you? That's not going to help you at the end of the day. All right, so again, I want you to comment below this video, send it, and I will send you that to you for free. And also in the comments, tell me which one stuck out to you. All right, I would love to hear from you. I know it's been a while since I've heard from you. I've been uploading a little bit less, and it's because I'm really doing some more inner work. Because look, I don't want to like project myself as being this perfect person who has it all together. Absolutely not. I got a lot going on. If you saw my last video, you know, we had our whole gender reveal. We're adding another member to the family. I'm having another son, which the due date will be next year, right around my 50th birthday. So here I am, 50 years old, having to start over. All right, so I have a lot going on, but I really wanted to give you this, and I believe it's going to help you. All right, so if you really enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and always hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, I'll see you then.